Hello everyone, this is Rick Miller. This is my week 7 presentation reviewing various forms of conflict management as well as some training principles as well, and my workplace conflict that I'm sure is quite common in many agencies. The first article I read was in reference to conflict management, and it was exploring the threshold between conflict management and joining in biased interventions. And this article, it looked at neutral and biased intervention techniques, mainly in 3 forms of conflict management: mediation, other forms of neutral conflict management, and the joining behavior where third parties will take the sides or the fight on the side of a combatant in relation to foreign intervention in other countries' domestic policies, which is really an interesting scenario, as you can understand that intervening in another country's policies is quite a conflict in itself. And based on the article, the research showed that the relationship has important implications for the conflict management process. Basically, the relationship between the countries, the mediator, will have a substantial impact on how negotiations or the intervention progresses. And then basically what they did is they examined leverage, bias, and joining as it relates to the mediator or the third party, as it may be, and how that will ultimately affect the outcome of the mediation. And then another article I read on conflict management titled Embracing Generational Diversity, Reducing and Managing Workplace Conflict. This one was interesting because I think it's also a common issue in any workplace. It looked at the generational issues when it comes to conflict management, and in this article they looked at the nursing environment within 4 generations of nurses. So what you end up having are 4 different perspectives, worldviews, values, work ethics, and so on, as it may be in the workplace. The potential for conflict and based on the environment is heightened. And what this article shows is it breaks down many work scenarios that occur in nursing environment and the perceived conflicts based on the type of nurse, whether it's somebody who's been there 30 years as opposed to somebody who just started. They're going to have different views based on their experiences, not only in the workplace but in life. And then it looks at the whole concept behind perceived conflict based on miscommunication, which I think is a tremendous issue in today's workplace. And it also then it looks at examining problem solving on these issues or conflicts based on collaborating and talking through the issues. A video I found, which I thought was interesting, didn't quite expect to pull a video like this, but it's a scene from the Hunger Games. Really what you have in the scene is the de-escalation of a conflict, where one person wants to continue harming somebody, and a character steps in and de-escalates the scenario, mainly by talking and pointing out the issues and what can and cannot be solved based on the course of action that is being taken. Another article I found in regards to training It's how to establish effective training with new employees. In this case, it's in regards to faculty. It's important to understand that variables make a difference in the transfer of knowledge while training. This article examined 9 educational and that are actually involved in training, and they interviewed all 9 people using 12 open-ended semi-structured questions, and then based on the interviews they were able to gauge 3 main themes of these trainers. They were able to find out the learned characteristics of these trainers, the program design and characteristics, as well as the educational environment characteristics. And basically what you learned from this article is that the transfer of training is multifaceted, and it includes many stakeholders. And then lastly, the last article looked at resilience training in the workplace, and it was a study of team resilience for adaptation to e-learning and that's value in the modern workplace and how it reduces stress and substance abuse and social level problems. This promotes peer-to-peer sharing, which I think is quite important in today's workplace. And the goal was to find the feasibility of condensing a classroom training into an e-learning environment, which I think is certainly more substantial today's day and age. And then the overall reaction to the study was positive, and it reflects the positive outcomes on groups using this e-learning training method that allows for collaboration. And my workplace scenario, I think, is one that it's certainly been an issue in my workplace, but may be common in others, where I rely on collaboration and a need for issues to be solved or addressed in a timely manner, and where I have a department, our Public Works Department, who simply gives a standard canned answer of, well, we're too busy and we don't have time. Well, a lot of what I do, especially when it comes to record requests, is time sensitive. I don't have the luxury of saying, well, I'm too busy, or our workload is too heavy. It's something that has to be dealt with immediately, and I would deal with this in a collaborative approach, where I would be able to merge insights from the Public Works Department and provide my insights to my department so that they further understand the significance of getting responses in a timely manner. The solution would provide a long-term fix and understanding between my department and their department, and I don't think we would benefit much from a mediator or negotiator, as this type of issue doesn't qualify for that sort of solution, but a neutral facilitator that could be involved to propel discussion and enhance communication and dialogue between the two departments, I think would greatly benefit my job, as well as their understanding of what I need to have as far as a response, and in facilitating my effort as the city clerk for the city, and would greatly improve the relationship between the two departments. So that's my presentation. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.